Please welcome John Perry and as he explains what it takes to make a club thrive.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. What does it take to make a club grow? If you think about a Toastmaster club, it can be very similar to a professional sports team. I'll use a couple of analogies during this speech that come from football. It's just easier to equate this, but in that sport you have a team of individuals. They all have different roles, very similar to Toastmasters. And they need to strive to do those roles to the best of their ability in order to help elevate the team to the ultimate status. Their status is the Super Bowl. Our Super Bowl is President's Distinguished Club. That's 20 plus members, that's 10 out of 10 awards. There's different things that it takes to get there. I'm going to start with just a couple of quotes. This is from the John Gordon book, You Win in the Locker Room First. The 7 C's to build a winning team in business, sports, and life. The character you possess during the drought is what your team will remember during the harvest. Let me say that again. The character you possess during the drought is what your team will remember during the harvest. I think it's pretty safe to say there hasn't been that much rain here in terms of members. So we are in a drought. However, the key is to recognize that and then to know where you are, find out where you want to get to, and then decide to get there. One of my favorite coaches is the coach Tony Dungy. And he said, even though we can't always choose our circumstances, we can always choose our attitude in the circumstances. So again, we can decide, we can figure out how we're going to do this. One of the key components to a Toastmaster club is the roles. People have to know what the roles are. They have to know if it's their time to be general evaluator, they have to know what's expected of them. The key is having an expectation and asking those people to achieve that expectation. Now, do things come up in life? Absolutely. Is there times that you cannot make a meeting? Absolutely. However, looking around the room, I see that all of us have 10 digits, so it's pretty easy to type out an email or make a phone call, see if somebody else could cover your role. Now, that's a very simple thing to do, and it ties into what's called accountability. However, you'd be surprised how many clubs never do that. I printed out some materials on the club roles. Now, these have descriptions of what the roles are. The one thing I was not able to bring tonight, however I will bring, is a printout of what the expectation of the role is within the meeting. That helps when you have new members. When they come to take on a role, now first of all, you don't want to just throw them right into general evaluator. But for example, an account or grammarian role, it lets them know step by step what they'll do. And then the nice thing at the end is it tells them, you're done, you get to sit down now. So that's a new thing, a new role for this person, but they go, oh, I do this and this, and then I get to relax? Okay. It's just kind of a nice way for them to feel more comfortable and more at ease with the role. I didn't have those tonight, but I will bring them for the next meeting. One of the other things, when you have a club, you have to think about this as your fancy restaurant, and you're the maitre d'. If you think about what a restaurant has, if you're going to bring a date to a restaurant, you have choices. And I'm going to use an upper scale restaurant for this. You go into a restaurant, if you saw dirt all over the floor and dirty dishes on tables, would you really feel comfortable about going there? Probably not. But if you saw the nice folded up or rolled cloth napkins, the nice candlelight at the booth, the ambiance, you'd feel better about it. It's the same thing with your club. Your club has got to have presentation. Now that's what we're all about in Toastmasters. When you get the plate of food, it usually has a garnish on it. We need to have the garnish. We got to give something to them. A couple of ideas. These are just food for thought. Oops. The Toastmaster website has several different things that you can do for your club very inexpensively. Now, some of the best ideas I've ever heard, which I'd like to try to implement with your permission, is when we have members, new members, when they give their first speech, their icebreaker speech, perhaps a pin. Now, these are just some examples of pins. They do have tiny ones that I've seen clubs give for somebody doing an icebreaker. I also have seen ones or seen clubs that give a pin after 3 speeches, 6 speeches, and 10 speeches. That helps the new member track and stay motivated. That also gets them actively involved. I equate that to back years ago when I taught martial arts. When people got their white belt, it was exciting. And then they knew they had to strive to get the gold, and the green, and the purple, and the blue, and the red. It can be the same thing with Toastmasters. I'm going to just leave you with some of these quotes as a positive affirmation. In one of the final things, as we take this on, we have to remember it's about the journey, mine, yours, and the lives we can touch, and the legacy we can leave, and the world we change for the better. Because the one thing we do at Toastmasters, gentlemen, is we help change lives. Mr. Toastmaster.